All right, good morning, peoples. Bruce back at you. Let's jump in here on CONY. All right, CONY had a nice day, similar to Misty. Not as high a percentages up, but then again, it didn't go down as bad on Monday either. So let's talk about it. So coin was up 4.43 after suffering a 6% pullback the prior day. So we were up 4.3, almost even, after being down 4.9. So there were no trades. Let's see, there were no shares added. Sometimes they'll add shares and not make a trade if it's a small amount of shares, but in this case, there were no shares. And again, they have these creation units that are 25,000, so they may have, 20,000 net, and they won't show it on the count here. So that's what we have there. Let's take a look. So by moving up, obviously that impacts your existing sold calls as well as your synthetic. So it tends to lower the gain you got in your weekly calls potentially, but always helps on the synthetic, which both the buy, call, sell, put are bullish. So the best way is, let's go to the weeklies and see what kind of impact. I had updated the chart. So as we were pulling back around 212, 200 is pretty, every time we've come back along here to test it, one time we went down and popped right back up several times. So what you don't want to see is keep hammering that, because you bang on a door long enough and you can break through, right? But it hasn't been that. Same thing with the ceiling. If you come up here and you test this top, usually by the third time, very high probability that you're going to go through it on the next time. And sometimes the third time does the trick. All right, so let's look at these weekly calls. So sure enough, when we went way down to 212 range, we wrote a 222. Well, look where we are. We're practically there, right? I had talked about pre-market in my Misty coverage. We're still around 61,745. So we're maintaining the majority of where we were yesterday at the levels. CONY's showing just about where it closed. I'm looking at, with 3 hours before market open, or 2.5, I'm showing 2025 by 2046 on CONY, and we had closed at 2025. So it's hanging in there. So the good news is the majority, by far, we've got 7% breathing room in just 3 trading days. You can look at 2,100 as less than 10%, right? It'd have to be 2,500 just to be 10%. So over 90%, we look pretty good. And again, on that synthetic, we're lowering the value of that synthetic. So let's look. We didn't add a trade, but I just updated this. I don't know why it's not reflecting that. Something is kicking. It should be a 104 number. I just fixed it right before I started the video, but it's over in holdings. It's projecting correctly. So these are the new updated counts for our overall holdings. Now let's double check if I put these values in, 3.9 and 5.525, yeah. So while we were up like 80% yesterday on our 9.3 million 70s, I think I recall, we're now back to 50%. But again, we look pretty good, right? This is the one that's hurting us, right? So, we would have to pay $1.1 million on something where we collected 562. So it's like over 100% in the red. But again, we're not really even 222. So that just goes to show you, if we stayed right where we are at 221, this $5.50 is all time. That's 3 days of time premium. So long as we stay in 225, 230, this will be way better. You know, if we're 230 on the 222, well, that could be 7 or 8. But look how much better we'll do in the synthetic. We dropped from 130 million. Look at this chart. You know, got bigger, bigger, bigger. Now we're back to like 104. So that's a relief, even though it's a month out there. And again, it's a paper loss. But I always like to know that we can get there. So how did we close, and where does that stand with fair value? Close, right? 221, they're saying fair value, so we're 4 cents. This is not true anymore, right? It was 0 shares bought. But that 5% on both CONY and Misty, people were bargain hunting. I don't blame you. I had already bought back some of my CONY, but I wasn't sure we weren't going down more, so I had dry powder, but I didn't buy any more CONY because I'm still not convinced we're completely out of the woods. I hope we are, and we may be. The longer we stay in the 60s, the better we are, but you know, we could have 2, 3, 4 days here and run back and run to 52. Am I saying that? No, guys, I'm not saying that. It just, I'd like to see us reclimbing that upper shelf at 65 in BTC, and I feel much safer that we're going to break out sooner rather than later. Okay, so that's what I got. Is there anything else? Weekly's holding, synthetic. Let's just jump into what the payments promise. No rants today. I'm sure I'll think of one sooner or later again. You guys can count on me for that. All right. So again, this is a tough one, just like on my Misty prediction. We're setting in better shape, right, with $1.50-ish in profit. But that may be all they pay. Right? And again, that one weekly is in jeopardy, right? So this short call income includes, you know, a couple $100,000 that, in fact, we may have to spend $590 just staying at around, well, if we stay at 222, we'll only have to spend $190 and give it back. But this is awesome. This is just really a winner for us, right? That's what's contributing to money this month. But I don't think they're going to pay us much more than the difference between these two, and probably not all of that, because they had to really pull some money out last month to pay this $1.69 because we were losing on both sides of this one, even though we won on both sides of this. So they had the extra money, but in my opinion, they've spent most of that. So I think we could be, you know, anywhere from $1.20 to $1.80, to be honest. But if I had to go there, I'd go in the middle. You know, our current price is now higher. Let's see what they're going to pay on the yield, right? So there we are. This is a 91% yield. Yeah, that's an excellent yield. So I sort of foresee that $1.50 range here, guys. I'm going to stick with that. All right, I hope this helped. I hope you guys are feeling better. Again, we're not clearly out of the woods. You know, the volatility is just unbelievable. If you own Misty or you listen to my Misty, you know, they were down 9% the day before and roared back like 7%. I mean, let's look at our June. We were down 6 and roared back 4.5. And coin really did better, right? Because it didn't drop as far, and it came within, you know, 0.05% to equal the rebound. So it's pretty excellent. Just making sure. Now, if we get some more if we get more shares bought, that's going to help this scenario a lot. So we'll see what happens there going forward. Okay, guys. Bruce out. Have a great day ahead, whatever your day brings you, right? Be it work, fun, golf, babysitting, grandchildren, you know, whatever your day is. Have a good one. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for fun and entertainment. Okay, guys, bye.